Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. I think you really need to focus on anything more than putting health as a priority. Because right now, if you have your health, you can manage anything else. But when you begin to lose your health, that's when it becomes a struggle, right? So on this show, we want to help you. We want to help you grow. We want to help you get better, healthier, more fit. We want to help you just have the kind of energy that you want to have. Now, you can call on the show anytime. We'd love to have you call in. You can send me emails. You can get on social media and send me stuff through Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all of those. And we take all of that in and make it part of the show. And also, you can send us a chat too as well, depending on where you're watching this and when you're watching it. If you're catching it live, then of course we'll be able to answer you on the spot. But we're excited. It's going to be a great show. And we're taking your calls. First, though, I want to get into something. Well, actually, we're going to get to the calls first, but I'm going to get into what I call stress. And we all know that's a big deal, but chronic stress has a lot of implications on the body. And one thing that people don't tell you about is that there's actually a protein that scientists have found that keeps you from actually losing body fat. So if you see someone that's excessively stressed out, right, or maybe it's a mom and she has a family to take care of, kids, 3 kids, and she's also working a job. Have you ever seen that? And so they get really stressed out and they don't really know how to manage it. And what happens is, in a situation like that, is they put themselves last. Okay, any moms, are you with me? Any grandmas out there that have I've been doing that my whole life, and it's true. And what happens is the chronic stress over time, or if it's a man, right, working 2-3 jobs just to make enough to pay the bills for a family or for yourself, or maybe you've been excessively in debt, whatever it is. But those kind of core issues create chronic stress. Maybe it's a bad relationship, something along those lines. Anytime you find something that is like that in a relationship setting or a work setting or a family setting, and it produces the chronic stress, that's the main thing that drives this hormone called cortisol. When cortisol is elevated, okay, it can be that way for a little bit because we all want our bodies to function in what we call fight or flight. So if a tiger was coming to kill you, right, you would want the cortisol to kick in so you could, and the endorphins and everything else, so you can run and get out of there, right? That's how we hear about somebody, a mom sees a baby trapped and she all of a sudden has all this superhuman strength to be able to get that baby out of danger or whatever it is. That is cortisol and norepinephrine, epinephrine, and that goes through the system that lets our body have this supernatural kind of energy. Well, cortisol, we need that, but not all the time. And that's the key. So managing cortisol levels is a big deal, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. I want to get to that. But first, I know you're lining up on the phones. Let's go to the first one and talk to Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
I took care of my husband because he had dementia until he passed on. What I would do is I would go to the dollar store and buy the little wooden birdhouses and paint. And we would sit at our table and we would paint birdhouses. Or I would go to my sock drawer, undo all the socks, and bring them out to the table, and I would say, honey, do you mind mating the socks for me? With a big smile on his face, he was glad to. And so they may not all be done, but they were all done, and it gave him something to do to feel important. And they've got to feel needed. And so this is some of the things that I did for him, and he was happy when he was doing these things. So it's just little things like that, and then praise them for the good job that they did. Yeah, it's very necessary. I'm glad you're bringing that up. God bless you.
So, God bless you too. And when you're taking care of someone with dementia, it's tough. It really is. There's no easy way around it. But the one thing that I hear from you that's really, really great, Sarah, is that you're creating an environment for him that is extremely positive. And you're also creating an environment for him that allows him for his brain to function at its best level that it can for where he is right now. Dementia is really interesting because it comes in waves. And sometimes they call it a slow degeneration, where a person, the memory, of course, is the issue, but it comes in waves where all of a sudden they seem alert and they seem like they're with you. And then there's times where they don't, right? So when you create environments like you're doing, I think it's a great thing because you're putting him in a place where he's happy. Remember, the number one thing that creates happiness for anyone, believe it or not, it's not entertainment, which we think, a lot of times that it is. It's not. The number one event or thing in our lives that we can have that creates happiness is progress. Progress in anything in life will create happiness. So if you're playing a game with him, whatever, if you're creating a situation like you said, the birds and all that, that's great because whatever you're doing together, he can, even as his brain sees progress, even with dementia, it creates a sense of happiness and fulfillment. And I think that's really important for anyone that is in that situation, and for you as a partner with him. And really just loving on him and helping him. I think it's just amazing that you're able to do that, and the thought process is there for you to do that. Dementia is something that a lot of people struggle with. It's growing more and more that we're seeing, especially here in the U.S. And there's so many things that we can do for it. Number one, you got to think about this, and I would encourage you, no matter what stage someone is in with dementia, that you want to look at this. You want to first look at, number one, is the kind of nutrition that they're putting inside their body. The foods that we eat every single day, they matter. Right? Food is our medicine in so many different ways, and if we're not eating the right kind of foods on a regular basis, then it's going to be hindering our progress as far as our health goes. With dementia, remember this, omega-3 fatty acids. I like cod liver oil. You can do it in capsules. You can also do it in oil. Depends on the quality, but you want to get about 14, 15 grams a day, but that is depending on your body weight. But cod liver oil is great because it has natural occurring vitamin A in it, vitamin D, and then, of course, the omega-3 fatty acids. Now, if you haven't had him tested, I would get him tested for the omega-3s. Okay, there's a blood test you can get done. It's very simple. Our team always does that. Our health coach providers do that on a regular basis, and you can connect with them if you need to, or if that's something that you want. But getting your fatty acid levels tested is extremely important. And that information is important too because it affects every cell within the body. And that's why it's such a big deal, because you want to impact all the cells. You want to get in and you want to impact the body as a whole. Dementia, remember, has got a strong neurological component. But also, whatever you put inside your gut affects the brain. So the gut affects the brain. So the foods we put inside of our body, whatever happens in the gut, it sends those neurotransmitters, creates those neurotransmitters here, and then sends it up to the brain. So that's important. So as you're supporting that, omega-3 fats are important. Know the test results. That's the key. Now, the other thing you got to look at are proteins. We're in a carbohydrate-rich diet. And remember, there's only 2 nutrients, macronutrients, that we actually need that are considered essential. So we have essential amino acids. Those are proteins. That's like chicken, fish, beef, eggs, that kind of thing. Protein powders, any of that. And then your fats, your essential fatty acids, which is what I was just telling you to test, but specifically the omega-3s. Those are your almonds, walnuts, cashews. Walnuts contain the highest amount of omega-3s. Avocados, fish oil. I mean, eating foods like fish, you're going to get tons of omega-3s out of that. But your fats are going to be specifically more like the nuts, the avocados, and then things like butter actually are good for you. Okay, yes, I just said that. Butter is good for you.
If you're looking for increased strength, increased endurance, and better recovery, then look no further than an all-natural nutritional supplement called creatine hydrochloride. Concrete is the brand, and it's the most absorbable form of creatine hydrochloride found today. Now, creatine is not just for athletes. You probably heard that before, but Concrete, creatine hydrochloride, is for the everyday person looking to improve their health. Listen, I started taking creatine in college when I was a strength and conditioning coach at Florida State University, and I've taken it ever since my college years, and it's made a massive difference in my life. Everything in my body, I believe, is functioning better because of creatine. Creatine hydrochloride I've moved over to using Concrete, and it is the best form of creatine on the market. Concrete creatine hydrochloride is available at most Walmart stores and on Walmart.com or any store that carries nutritional supplements. Just make sure to look for Concrete brand creatine hydrochloride and watch your endurance, your strength, and your recovery and your immune system get boosted today.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
Not margarine, not the fake stuff. The butter's actually good for you. So it's got butyric acid in it, phenomenal, does all kinds of great things in the body. But for this conversation, you want to make sure the fats are good and that he's eating healthy fats, not processed vegetable oils and junk oil and junk nuts and roasted in oil nuts and all of that. Like all the stuff that is considered not clean. It's not on the anti-inflammatory diet. If you read my book, if you have a copy of that, the anti-inflammatory diet will tell you and guide you. And if you haven't become part of our health club and followed through Healthy University and learned the basics, see, my book covers a lot of the basics, but then you get into kind of the next level in the details of things like I teach here. That's all at the health club. Go to the website, you see it there. So if you look at this with dementia, make sure that the proteins are good, okay, between about half, depending if there's kidney issues or not, about half to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day, okay? Fatty acids, I always like to do this. Take the person's body weight, multiply it times 0.4, and that gives you a total number of fat grams that you should strive for every day. I'm big on counting your food, your grams of protein. I've been doing that forever. You know, being a workout fitness guy, I've always done that, and it really has helped. When I said, to heck with it, I didn't get the results I wanted. When I really tracked it, you don't have to be super obsessive, but just kind of knowing the ballpark, it really helps. With dementia, it's a key because you have to know the nutrition. Now, 2 other things. When you're looking at dementia, the other thing you want to focus in on, make sure, and I mean make sure, that sleep is a priority. Now, I'm one to talk because I don't sleep a whole lot, and I don't need more than about 6, 5 to 6, and I'm good. If I sleep 8, I'm tired all day. It doesn't work for my body. But in this situation, you definitely want to look at it as a position of that 7 to 8 mark, because we know that when dementia is there, that the sleep patterns make a big difference. Okay, it allows the body to restore, and it allows the body to get to a place where it can really function at a higher level. Now, the other one, so important, is exercise. Depending on how much the dementia has impacted the person, you should get the person exercising every day. Because what happens is with dementia, there's a lot of sitting around. The body doesn't function well like that. The body was designed to move. So I would get him into a position where he can do whatever. If it's a stationary bike, if it's a walk where you're holding him, whatever that is, create a routine. If it's raining and snowy outside, look, don't come up with excuses of why you can't. Come up with reasons why you can. That's the key. So, I mean, go to a mall. The malls hardly have anybody in them right now. And so go to the mall and walk. I mean, that's a great thing you can do. So you have to look at the whole approach. And whatever his doctor's doing, medications that he's taking, that's fine. That's great. But it's not just a pill it's not going to fix anything. Remember, medicine manages for the most part. So if you want to get to a place where you're helping him, being proactive every single day, that gets down to these things that we're talking about with these basic lifestyle choices and focusing in on that every single day. That's the key. With dementia, it has to be. But I just want to say, I think it's great that with what you're doing, helping him, create an environment for him, and just making it where it's a happy place for him. Look, dementia is something that a lot of people struggle with, and we're seeing it more and more and more. But getting to a place where you can really get in and help and get him to a good place, that is what it's all about. And so I want to encourage you to keep it up. Keep on keeping on and keep doing what you're doing to be an encouragement and a cheerleader. We need more people doing that. We need more people doing exactly what you're doing with those that they love, with family members, with everyone that's in their space, right, to step up and do that. I think it's amazing that you're doing that. I think it really is the absolute key with why someone like that could potentially either delay the degeneration and with dementia or even slightly improve, which has been known to happen. So I just want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. I'm so glad. Thanks so much for that call. This show is all about you. It's about your health. It's about your life. Remember, whatever you're struggling with, no matter what, okay? It doesn't matter what you struggle with, what you don't struggle with. It doesn't matter what people have told you about your health. It doesn't matter if you've been given a diagnosis like heart disease or high cholesterol or diabetes. Remember, if the body can get sick, it can also get well. Lifestyle is our medicine. So the choices that we make every single day can and will determine the kind of health that we're going to have. And on this show right here, without a doubt, I'm your number one cheerleader. I'm your number one fan. Our team is here to help you live the kind of life that you want to live. Now, I want to talk about stress. It's a big topic. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But remember that no matter what, okay, your body can regenerate. It regenerates every single day. So your past doesn't define you. Okay, what you do today is going to define you. When you hit a certain age mark, just remember the body works in 10-year decades. So that if you're 40 right now, the things you're doing right now is going to determine you're 50 and on and on. Okay, so the main key you got to focus in at any point in time with your health is that you are in charge of you. It's not the doctor. It's not a pill. It's not genetics. It's not what grandma and grandma passed down. You are always in charge of you when it comes to your health. So glad you're with us. Look, we're jumping in right now, and we're going to talk about stress. Why? Because stress is everywhere. I mean, I get stressed out. Do you get stressed out? I bet you do. So stress is everywhere, and it's something that we have to focus in on and make sure that no matter what, that we're working on our health every single day, yes, number one, but that we manage. You ever notice how they call it stress management? They do. They call it stress management, right? Not stress avoidance. Because it's going to happen. We have stress in our lives coming from every angle: financial, relationships, you name it, work, everything, right? Kids and people dying and just the whole deal. We've got stress coming from everywhere. Workout, exercise is stress. It's good stress. So, but nonetheless, we have to manage everything, right? We have to learn to manage all of that. The key with it, more than anything, are the choices that we make every single day. So I'm going to get into some things that can help you with stress. Number one is exercise. I'm a big believer. I used to say, the guidelines are like 150 minutes a week, right? And that helps with overall fitness. Okay, look, bump that, right? Because here's the thing. The reality is, okay, that is what the research says. I'm going to tell you what Dr. Asa says about this whole thing. You need to be moving every single day. And I used to not believe that, okay? But in my own life, I have seen the impact of doing exercise. Now I work out sometimes 3 times a day. I've got an insane workout schedule that I do. Now I do take one day off. And on that day, though, I do something. So I work out pretty intensely. But on that day, I may do cardio or I may do yoga. When I say cardio, I may ride a stationary bike for 20 minutes, which is not a whole lot for me. I may do a real light session of 20 minutes of yoga, right? And the yoga that I do is a special system by Diamond Dallas Page. He's a former professional wrestler. It's called DDPY. I actually do a version of that every single day, but on my off day, a lot of times I will do that as well.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to AsaRx.com and get your free book today.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
But it's good to do something every single day, and that helps to lower stress, okay? And it's proven. So number one, you got to move. Number two, the foods that you eat every single day, they will help manage stress as well. Now, I'll tell you, green tea has components in it when you drink things. Water, of course, is important, but green tea has components in it to help lower stress levels naturally. It's a good alternative to coffee if you're a big coffee drinker, because what it does helps to really support the body in a great way, and has what's called helps with phosphatidylserine in it, and it's got amazing just overall antioxidants that help the body. Okay, green tea's great, but your proteins and your fats and your carbohydrates, when you're looking at stress levels, you want to keep them in balance. You don't want to have high carbs, low carbs. The low carbs are even worse. At this point, moderate carbs are the key when you're dealing with a lot of stress. Now, researchers found that beta-tropin is released when chronic stress levels. It's a protein. They did this at the University of Florida, and they found that beta-tropin is released when our stress levels are high. And so by eating a balanced meal that has good lean quality protein sources like chicken, fish, beef, or eggs, low glycemic carbohydrates in the form of fruits and vegetables, and good healthy fats, things like almonds, walnuts, cashews, avocados, all of that. When you put that together and you eat that kind of way, it helps to lower stress levels in a great way. So remember, the exercise every single day for chronic stress, and then your nutrition, and the third thing is going to be your rest. You have to rest. So even on that day where I do a slight session of yoga, I rest all day. I don't get on my phone. I don't answer I don't do anything. I rest my body. So one day, for sure, you've got to rest and then get good sleep at night. We're going to do a whole show on sleep coming up soon. Check everything out at the website. You can always follow me on social media. Listen, this show is about you. It's about your life. I want to do one thing and one thing only, that my number one focus in this is to help you realize that you have a potential on the inside more than anything. Is that deep down you were designed, okay, by the Creator, by God, which is what I believe, and you were designed with a purpose. You were designed to be here. You know that no thumbprint is the same, no fingerprint's the same on any person. Did you know that? That means you're special. The retina of your eye is different on me than it is you and every single other person on the entire planet. The hair follicle, if I even had one, I've got a couple, is different on every single person. So just remember, you were created in an amazing, amazing way. And so when you realize that you have a potential on the inside, remember that your health is the vehicle to get you there. So on this show, we want to help you become the best version of you. That is the absolute key. You can go to our website, get there. Of course, it's there on the screen. You can always go to our website and check it out. Remember that this show, we're here to help you, here to encourage you, to take you to the next level with your health and with your life. Follow us on social media. Check us out. Everything that you do, every choice that you make every single day, it matters. It makes an impact on your health. Everything that we do on a daily basis. So today we're going to remember the phones, you can call in anytime, chat, you can send us social media, email. We take all of that and we make it part of this show. So you can connect with us in any way that you want. If you got a text now, you can text. I think we're text on the show, and we can take that. It's kind of like our own chat, right? And you can make that part of the show too. So we're always here to answer questions. People are loving going on social media now because I'm answering a lot of questions for you there as well. So whatever your question is, great or small, just know that you can reach out to us at any given time. Okay, you go to asahealthnetwork.com, and you can check that out. Now, I want to talk a little bit today about how sitting, which is interesting because I'm sitting, affects your health. Now, the good thing is I only sit for a short period of time here when we're doing these shows, but 9 times out of 10 when you see me, I'm standing. You go to a seminar, if I've got to go on a plane, I'm up walking around, whatever it is. I don't like to sit. Be in a car for a long period of time, don't like it. It's not me. Don't like it. So I want to get with you on this because it's very important. Sitting is the new smoking. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but it really, really is. Sitting is the new smoking. They say that if you sit longer than like 6 hours a day, something like that is the statistic. If you sit more than 6 hours a day, it's like cutting 7 years off of your life. So it's pretty amazing. Like, we need to get up and stand throughout the day on a regular basis. So there's a couple things I want to talk to you about with that, because let's say you kick smoking. And I know a lot of people have, or maybe you never smoked or whatever. Maybe food's your thing where you overeat and you struggle with that. Well, look, here's the deal. If you sit all day at a desk job, behind the computer all day long, you do that over and over and over and over again, even if you go exercise for 30 minutes a day, and you're like, well, I'll kind of compensate by exercising and get my body moving. Listen, it's not going to work like that. And it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. What you do on a regular basis is what's going to impact you more than anything else. And I can tell you that with exercise, it's a good thing. But you want to engage your body on a regular basis. So we're going to talk in just a minute about what it takes to get away from the sitting issue and how to kind of work around getting your body healthy if you do have to sit. Because there's a lot of people that do. You have to sit. It's part of your job. You can't help it. Maybe you're a judge and you got to sit there at the bench, listen to all these cases all day long. We got to get you a standing bench, right? But there's ways to do that. And I'm going to talk about that in just a minute because it's really important. I believe that the sitting is, when they say that, I really believe it because I'm seeing it now. We got obesity now more than ever. People are more overweight, and with the computers and the devices and all these things that are coming our way, the metaverse, everything else. Now we're going to be leaving our houses. We're going to be putting these goggles on and looking at people, right? Or going into this world where we're either standing or sitting on our couch, and we're in who knows where, right? Amsterdam somewhere, hanging out with whoever at a concert. That's coming. But the reality is, I want to get you moving. That's the key. I want to get you moving in a great way. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But we're going to go to the phones right now and talk to Zach. Hi, Zach. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I was calling to find out what it means if you have a lot of protein in your urine. I know that when there's a lot of sugar in your urine, what that means in terms of diabetes, but is it a matter of eating too much at one time, or is there some digestive issues involved? Thank you.
Yeah, one of the things you got to look at, and here's the thing. Yes, you're right. With everything pretty much that you said, you're dead on. All right, so when you have protein in the urine, it can mean a couple of things. It can mean that your body's not handling proteins well, but most of the time it means your kidney function is not where it needs to be, or it can also mean that you're dehydrated. So it can also mean that you're at a point where you're not drinking enough water. Most people don't, by the way, so just so you know. It's okay. A lot of people don't. They don't drink enough water. And so you got to get to a point where hydration is a key. I'm a big fan of drinking half your body weight in ounces of water every single day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, drinking 100 ounces every single day, I would start there. But a lot of times if you see color in the urine or when they do the test, if there's protein in the urine like you're talking about, but even your own self-testing at home, if there's a lot of color and it's not clear, then you're definitely dehydrated, number one, unless you're taking some weird vitamins. And then number two, if it foams up a lot, that's a sign that you're spilling protein in the urine as well. And that could be a pretty alarming thing, because here's what happens. Let's say you eat a lot of protein in general in your diet, and then you don't drink enough water to hydrate. The kidneys are working overtime, and that's where the protein issue comes in with the kidneys. And it also comes with the urine, and that's why you're seeing that. So I would start with hydration. Of course, getting testing done with your doctor on a regular basis. I'm a huge blood work fan. Of course, getting a UA, urinalysis, and blood work is just essential. You have to have that done so you know what's going on in your body. These markers are very important, but there's some little self things that you can do, like I'm talking about, where looking at your urine and kind of checking that, it really does make a big difference. So I would start there. And you know, with your doctor, checking the blood, checking the urine, but then look at your own way. Like go, whatever you're weighing, let's say, just take half your body weight. Drink that for a day. Don't drink sodas. Don't drink a bunch of juice. Don't drink a bunch of milk. Just drink water all day. Do that for 3 days in a row and see what happens. Because the research out there says that the water is a major factor for a lot of people. Now, if you have, the weird thing about that is, and this is why I'm saying, like, get with your doctor and, like, make sure, is that if you have kidney issues, you can't drink a lot of water. Like, it's really, and that is true, right? So there's a certain limit, and you really got to, like, pay attention to your fluid intake, salt intake, potassium. It gets into a whole thing, right? So I'm just giving you the basics. When you have protein in the urine, it could be a kidney issue. So what do you do? Well, I can tell you some natural things it can do. The water's a big thing, but also juniper berries. All right, juniper berries have been used for a long time. That's what they make gin out of. But don't go drink a bunch of gin. They make juniper berries. They take them, and they've been really restorative to the kidneys. So a lot of times they can mix them. You can eat them. You can find them in a ground powder. There's a lot of different ways to get juniper berries, but we know for a fact that it helps with kidney health all the way around. And then the other one to make sure that you're getting plenty of in a situation like this is vitamin D. Vitamin D can play a key role in this. Also enzymes and hydrochloric acid, HCl, which you can get in a supplement form, but it's also good to get it from apple cider vinegar. And that's, of course, organic apple cider vinegar is a great way. 2 tablespoons a day with your meals can help in that regard as well. But I would focus in on that routine right there, because you need to know the source of it, and your doctor will be able to figure that out if they do some deeper tests. Again, urinalysis is a key, but also blood work. They can find out exactly what's going on with that right there, okay? So thanks so much for that call. I'm so glad you asked that question. Now, we're going to get back into what I was talking about, which is we're going to talk about this, how sitting's the new smoking. Look, you have to get up and move every single day, no matter what. Okay. Oh, and by the way, go to asahealthnetwork.com, asahealthnetwork.com. Check us out. If you need anything, email me, go on social media, send us whatever. You can go on Apple and Roku now, any of those platforms, and look for the Dr. Asa Health Network. Believe. You can look for that. You can catch our shows there as well. So much going on with our message and our company and our network and our studios. It's just great. So we're talking about how sitting's the new smoking. Number one, you got to maintain good posture. You notice that I'm not kind of like leaning over like this. You notice that I'm sitting up like this. I've got kind of a tall upper body. But your posture matters.
Want to turn back the clock 15 years and have more energy? This is Dr. Asa telling you to just breathe with LiveO2. LiveO2 delivers the right amount of oxygen we need for optimal health. Go to liveO2.com. That's liveO2.com.
Connect with On-Call Radio and watch On-Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
Your posture matters for your energy levels. Your posture matters for your longevity. Your posture matters. Because what happens if you slouch all the time, then it compresses the disc. You get these discs in between the bones, and that'll happen over time. But guess what? When you're crouched like that, it also lowers your energy levels because it affects your body, what your body calls the adrenal glands. So do everything you can to sit upright when you're sitting down. Okay? Everything you can. I know it's hard. But if you feel like you need to slouch, you might as well lay down. Because the slouching all day long is not going to help you at all, okay? Now, the other thing is, number 2, is follow the 50-10 rule. And that means that for every 50 minutes of sitting, you get up and you walk around for 10 minutes. It's a great rule. I follow it most of the time, especially if I'm in, like, planes, like I'm telling you about, or in meetings or conferences or whatever. I always do that, 50-10. I kind of keep an eye on things. And you'll be amazed how fast 50 minutes goes by, or 2 hours or 3 hours, you've been sitting in the same spot. So you got to get up and move. All right, now here's another one. You don't like this, probably. I know your joints may hurt, right? I got a whole topic we can talk about on the joints, but take the stairs. If you have an option, now I'm not saying if it's the 16th floor in some hotel, okay, but maybe you take 4 flights of stairs and then get on the elevator and go the rest. Okay, you with me? Like, don't just say, I'm not going to do the stairs because it's 16 floors and I'm going to take the elevator. I mean, do a little work. If you do the work, you're going to get healthier. Okay, bottom line. So take the stairs. Stairs matter. Simple. Especially like 1 and 2 flights. Always do that. Like, don't wuss out and take the elevator every time. Don't do that. Get your body moving. You can use every bit of movement like that matters. It all matters. Okay, that's key. Now, the other one is, you want to stretch your back. Now, I'm not going to show you right here because of the way cameras are in the set, but you want to stretch your back. One of my favorite moves is what they use in a yoga system called DDPY. It's an amazing fitness system I use personally, but the flexibility that they use, the moves that they use in that, you can find that, by the way, at ddpy.com. The moves, I use it every day, and it really stretches your back out in a great way. And there's some moves that it teaches you that you can just do on the spot. I mean, I'll be at a gas station pumping gas, and I'll do this move where I can lean over and stretch every bit of my spine out in a great way. The other thing is, the 5th one is, you want to stretch your neck. Your neck, you can move it around in circles like this. You can go down. You can go back. Okay, but stretching your neck out is important too. I actually do strengthening exercises. Got a whole band system of how to work out and improve your neck health that you can go to our website, go to Ace Health Network, or our whole health club, health system can show you how to do that. But healthy neck is extremely important too, because you got to maintain the curve in your neck, lower back, mid back, all of that is really, really important. So I would encourage you on that to really, really keep going. I mean, because it's so important, okay, when it comes down to that. Now, remember, don't forget this. Your health is your greatest wealth. No matter what anybody tells you. You have a potential on the inside of you. And the choices that you're making every single day, they matter. Don't be sitting all day long. Listen, follow these principles. Good posture, right? You're going to make sure you follow the 50-10 rule. Write that down. Go get something, get your phone, whatever. Put in the 50-10 rule. You sit for 50 minutes. I don't care if it's your favorite show and you're binge watching Netflix. Look, 50 minutes, you're going to get up, you're going to walk around, you're going to pace back and forth while you're watching Yellowstone, whatever you got to do. But get up and get moving, okay? And then also take the stairs. Stop wussing out. Take the stairs. Don't do the elevator every single time, okay? Don't be lazy. If you're lazy, you're going to have terrible health, I promise you. Like, you've got to put the work in. You are not 8 years old anymore and it just all works. Come on, somebody. You got to do the work. Okay? Take the stairs. All right, stretch your back. Find a stretch that works really well for you. That's going to be a key. And then stretch your neck. Do exercises on a regular basis that can really stretch your neck out, strengthen your neck. Again, I've got a band workout that's very light but very powerful and effective. If you go to the website, you can find that. Get in our health club and Health University, and that'll teach you those moves to be able to get the healthiest that you've ever been. And look, that's my goal for you. I just want to see you live healthy. You know, in this show, with our company, with all of our shows here, we want to see you live the best that you could live. And it comes down to the choices that we make every single day. No one can take responsibility for your health but you. You have to do that. Like, your grandma can't do it for you, your husband, your wife, your kids, your coworkers, your family members. No one can take responsibility for your health but you. Like, you are the key to the whole thing because you have the choice and the ability in the palm of your hands every single day. I love it when you reach out to us. You can always go to asahealthnetwork.com. It's asahealthnetwork.com. Send me emails. You can join, of course, anything with social media. Send it to us. We're going to make it part of the show. We've got chat. We've got text. We've got all of that now to be able to connect with you. Look, there's so many people with health questions now, more than ever. I've been doing this a long time. But I tell you, there's never, ever hesitate to reach out to us. You have to believe in you enough, okay? Don't just sit there and listen, sit back and hope everything happens. You have to take action, and you have to put in the work. Now, speaking of emails, we've got Amanda in Canton, Ohio that says, my dad is having some serious and painful flare-ups of gout. Do you have any ideas that can help him? Look, when gout, it's a big deal, all right? But it's also very, very easy to deal with. Gout is nothing but a body's inability to break down proteins. That's all it is. It's not some weird genetic grandma, grandpa passed it down. It's not that. Look, gout is just something very simple. The body can't break the proteins down. So what do? You've got to help the body do that. Number one, you've got to eat the right kind of proteins that your body can break down effectively. Now, typically red meat, although it's got good health benefits to it in a lot of ways, is not the thing you want to be eating when you have gout. You might want to have her back off and do more fruits and vegetables, or have him back off and do fruits and vegetables, whatever, for a period of time. You could get proteins that are really, really good in things like chickpeas. It's a good vegetable source of protein, but it's a complete protein because it's a pea, chickpea, right? Now, fish and eggs also can be well for someone like that. But here's the key. The body's not breaking down proteins well for a reason. That is happening in the gut. The gut health is not where it needs to be. That's the thing you got to realize, and that's like where we have to target laser focus on that. When you look at gout, number one, you got to look at the amount of hydrochloric acid that's in the gut, in the stomach. So if, as we age, over about the age of 35, we don't produce the amount of hydrochloric acid that we need to, that we used to, especially if you're under chronic amounts of stress. Not that anyone's stressed out, right? Especially nowadays. So as stress levels go up, then your hydrochloric acid goes down, your body's ability to break down proteins, it goes down, and the cycle continues. So we have to get the body to a place where you can function and break down these proteins. I like apple cider vinegar. I think it's a great way to naturally stimulate the hydrochloric acid that's in the stomach. Hydrochloric acid, I love Bragg's. It's one of my favorite. I met Patricia, she's a sweetheart. Her and her dad started that whole company, but I've been to their farm and seen how they make it. It's organic, the whole deal. Apple cider vinegar is amazing.
Did you know you could listen to the AsaRx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the AsaRx audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.